I just want to talk a little bit about the service that family aged care advocates provided for me, especially for me who lives overseas and have been away from Australia for a little while. And as my parents have been aging, the need for service like family aged care advocates became more obvious, but it also more difficult for me because I'd been away from Australia for a long time, didn't really know where to start. And since there, we've had a huge journey together, and it's been really a positive and successful arrangement that we've come to. So with family aged care advocates, they took the time to get to know my family and my parents' needs. What I really liked was, once we started talking, was the objective and pragmatic assessment of the sort of this mum's situation, and that was looking at that home care package that mum was on, and dealing with governments and sort of service providers was quite often a minefield and quite difficult to manage remotely as well. But I think with family aged care advocates, you started to help to show them that maybe there were other providers out there. And so the research and the comparison that you did with those providers, or showing my mum and dad the different sort of services and the different costs and the different care facilities, became a bit of a reality check. And I think when you came along, you were able to show them that there were perhaps other models, and you looked at sort of, was this the best fit? As it turned out, it was the best fit, and that was reassuring. But at least that homework that had been done, and that had been done rigorously and carefully and also sensitively too. So aged care advocates came on board again and just liaised with some of those residential care homes, talked to people, found out details, found out costs, arranged visits, negotiated costs, contracts, looked at all of those sorts of things, supported my dad and mum with advice about where to go next and what to look for, recommended legal service, and that all went really well and very smoothly. And I think in the end we chose the right place for mum and dad. So and I think family aged care advocates really understood dad's needs and as well as mum's needs, and have been able to provide different scenarios, different packages, and we've been able to work together to look at what's the best. I think what I like about aged care, family aged care advocates, is just that not only that face-to-face contact, but clarity of explanations, clear objectives that have been set out, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it. And then also sort of the arguments for, they've been really reasoned in logical ways and very simple ways too, to help me, because it's a minefield, that family or that aged care in Australia. And it's, I think you've reasoned it out in a really clear way, in a simple way that's helped both my parents and me. The other thing, it's unbiased as well. It's very, like I said, it's pragmatic, and you've had a sort of a really objective assessment of the situation, both my family's situation, like I said before, a real reality check, but an unbiased and objective assessment as well. You've been an intermediary. You've been that liaison between, like a three-way liaison. It's not only with my mum and dad, but also with government services providers, and also the private, care providers as well. You've had the time to go through all that paperwork, that just pages and pages and pages of tick boxes and using language that would have taken us months to get to understand, but you certainly navigated your way through that a lot quicker than I would have been able to. You made those phone calls just to clarify things. it's given me a real peace of mind. I think it's taken a burden. I know it's taken a burden off my father and my mother, and that's just allowed them to concentrate on their emotional journey, as well as sort of, you know, that physical journey for mum as well. And it's a care agenda before a business agenda. And that personal approach is what has been so valued by me and my parents. So I really appreciate that care first before business. You know, family aged care advocates have got high expectations, and that's what's appealed to us as a family as well. You want the best for my family, for my mother and my father, but also for us as a family. So with high expectations of care, that's meant that you've really been able to, you know, poke the bear, as they say. You've been able to question providers. You've negotiated on my behalf and on mum and dad's behalf. And you've set the bar really high, and you haven't relaxed those at all. And with respect to that, you know, mum's care facility now, you know, you've negotiated costs, and we've seen some reductions in costs. And I think really the power of negotiating that family aged care advocates provides has certainly helped me with those professional services. And you've helped us to understand, but also that power of negotiation has given us some entitlements that we didn't know that we were entitled to. Your service has been a godsend. It's quality, and it's something that I would highly recommend to other people, without reservation. And so thank you to you and all that you've done.